Okay. Thank you guys for
Luther
thank you guys for your patience. And we finally got it going after some technical difficulties. But thank you for watching and coming to a live webcast edition of the Renaissance Nerdcast. Tonight, I am joined by several wonderful nerds from Season 3 of King of the Nerds.
Half the cast.
Yeah, practically half the cast.
Yeah, no, literally half the cast.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, if we want to be literal. But thank you guys for joining. I am a huge fan, and I'm happy to have all of you. So thank you for joining. But
thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's definitely my pleasure. Trust me. But okay.
Somebody has a lot of background noise.
Yeah, does someone have a
somebody
YouTube
should turn their
channel?
speakers down. We can hear everything.
Well, no, it's somebody additionally talking so they can mute themselves whenever they're not.
I think someone has the YouTube feed going. So if they just mute, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Yay! So, as I said, as Jacob so eloquently pointed out, we have half the cast. We have Jacob.
Ever.
Yes. We have Jacob, obviously. Heather is with us.
Yeah.
Amanda.
Hello.
Lily.
Hi.
Raychelle.
Whoop whoop.
And Todd the Bod himself. Great smile as always, Todd.
Thank you.
But I think because we made the fans and those watching wait a little bit, we'll go ahead and get into some fan questions first.
Okay, since Raychelle leaves first, and I think Lily, if we have anything for them and they could go first, that would be great.
Yeah, we don't have any so far directly for them, but they are definitely questions that.
I'd like to respond to Chuck Norris. You're welcome.
But, let's at least keep the trolling and the joking to a relatively nice level. But
Listen, none of you can hurt my feelings. I'm on television. There's a line.
that's a really good point. But okay, a couple people asked. I am Andy Pfeiffer, and who was it? And the high roll hero. We're asking about the audition process and why you guys auditioned and how the audition process went about, how that process was. So if you guys wanted to answer that.
Who first?
Well, hold on. I can say how it worked really fast, and then we can all go through why we auditioned.
Okay.
That way not everyone has to repeat it. How it works is you show up, you film like a short video about yourself, then they either email you back if they don't. When they do, you have to answer some questions, and then they'll move you throughout the process based on that. But it starts out with a very, very short video, and now we can go to why we auditioned, and somebody else can start, because I don't want to.
I'll go. So I applied for season 2, as did Lily, as did Heather, if I'm not mistaken. And Raychelle. Okay, I didn't know that, but yeah.
And Jonathan.
And Jonathan. Oh, okay. Yeah, I applied for season 2. Didn't get it because I don't really know why. I fucked up. We all got the different steps. Both Lily and Heather went further than I did. But yeah, what happened was for season 3, they sent an email to my comic book store, Escapist Comics in Berkeley, California. And they were like, we need people to apply, and I already had my video for my season 2 application, and I was in LA for a comedy festival, so I just applied, and then 2 months later I was on the show, and 2 days later I was in.
Oh, poor Jacob.
Anyway,
We can go in order and do Amanda next.
Yes, Amanda.
I was actually at the Chicago Comics Entertainment Exchange with C2E2, and they were doing an open casting call for season 1 before the show even had a name. Like, it was still in development, and some representatives from TBS and this casting agency were on the floor, and they said that they were doing casting for a competitive, nerdy reality television show. And so my husband and I filled out their forms and talked to a producer and like filmed like a short 2-minute thing right there at their booth at that Chicago Comic Con. And I definitely didn't get a call back. I can't remember if he did, because this was like 3 or 4 years ago now. And anyway, he auditioned for season 2, and I was in his audition video talking about him, and he showed pictures of us cosplaying together and stuff. And so they actually asked me to audition based on his video, and I made it on this show and he didn't. So wah wah. But I had a great time. And, all of the cast super great friends with Chad too, so it's pretty great for both of us.
Chad's pretty cool.
He's super cool. So yeah, Chad for season 4 though.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Hashtag.
Exactly.
I know I'm auditioning again, so we'll see.
Yeah, good luck.
But
So I watched season 1, and I was like, well, I'm, no offense, pretty sure that I could beat everybody here. So I was like, I could stomp this so hard. So I auditioned for season 2, and I put a lot of work in it. And I got pretty far. Like, I signed like the big contract. They told me that they were flying me out for the show, and then they were like, just kidding, they were like, we were between you and one other girl, and we decided to go with her. I'm really sorry. So I didn't watch season 2 because I'm bitter and jealous. I'm pretty sure it was Kelsey. Just guessing. But I think it was Kelsey. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you should see my season 2 audition video. It's pretty cute. So I didn't watch season 2, and I was super annoyed about it, and somebody called me for I guess I should say, when I watched season 1, I had talked about applying, like kind of been like, yeah, I could totally win this, and then they actually found my YouTube channel, and they sent me a message being like, please apply, and I was like, well, now I feel super obligated to do it because I've talked all this shit, so now I have to put my money where my mouth is. So, yeah, didn't make it, didn't watch the show. I got a call from casting for season 3, and they were like, please, please, please audition. And I was like, meh, no, you guys suck, and were mean to me. So I went into my upstairs loft. I recorded 40 minutes of footage of me just talking to myself, cut out a center 11 minutes, maybe 12. It's supposed to be 4, like less than 4. So I kind of like 12 minutes, sent it to them, and then I went to Europe, and they asked me for a bunch of other things in the audition process, and I was like, well, I already sent you them last year. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't care. Like, and I was like super mad about it, and then I got the call that they wanted to include me in the pitch to the network for season 3 because they weren't renewed at the time, and they were like, yeah, we'll definitely fly you out for auditions if we are renewed, and that happened while there was a house cleaner in my house, and I'm super awkward, and I was like, well, I'll just sit in the backyard while you're here for 6 hours because I don't want to accidentally interact with you. And so I took this call in the backyard, and it was really awkward, and then I ended up on the show. That's the long story.
how about you, Raychelle?
So actually I watched season 1 because I knew Danielle, and so I watched her on that, and then I was like, I really want to do this, so I applied for season 2. They told me to send in a longer video, and so I just sent them the unedited version of the first video because I was super lazy, and then I felt awful, so I didn't make it much further. And then, and then for season 3, I worked my butt off. Like, I sent in videos and was contacting them every day, and they told me that I was on it, and then I was vacationing in Florida with my boyfriend, and they called and said, never mind, we chose another girl, you're not on it. And then the day before it all, like, happened, they called, and they were like, hey, can you get on a plane to LA tomorrow morning? And I was like, yep, sure thing. And then there's the rest. The rest is history. You've seen me on TV, so.
Todd and Lily.
Or Todd, yeah.
Me? Oh. So, I didn't watch season 1. I watched season 2 with my cousin, and he's not a nerd, or wasn't a nerd by any stretch of the imagination. And I had a lot of fun with it, and I decided to be a pompous jackass and sent an email saying how much fun I was. And they're like, yeah, put your money where your mouth is, make us a video. So I I made this most ridiculous video I possibly could, where I was playing Magic against myself. I was playing Borderlands. It was cutscenes. It was so much fun. I got a call literally the next day, and they said, "That was amazing, and you shot it in the wrong camera angle, so please do it again."
You shot a portrait?
So I had to run back. I chugged 48 ounces of Red Bull, and I made it so it was the perfect widescreen and not the vertical from a phone. And I made it exactly 5 minutes, made it even better. And they were like, "You are amazing. You're coming out to Los Angeles." And I was like, "All right." I didn't really expect otherwise, because, again, I'm a little pompous.
You know who else was always like, "I'm sure that I'm going to be on the show, no questions"? Ori.
I'm a good company then.
Yeah, he was like, "I never was worried. I always knew it." So there's
funny.
that, Todd.
Well, there aren't any other Oris in the world, that's for sure.
He is right.
Yeah.
I don't know. You never know what to expect. Because like this has. Oh no, Lily hasn't gone. Lily has gone.
Yeah, Lily turn.
Oh yeah. So a bunch of my boyfriend's roommates were watching the show season 1, and he was like, "We should both audition for this to get awesome characters of ourselves." So I was like, "That's silly," but I did it anyway. I spent a day making a video. I like built a set in my room and stuff, and I made this really cool video, and I sent it in. And they called me back 20 minutes later, and they were like, "You're so on, you're so on." This was for season 2, by the way, and they had me pack my bags. They had me get the blood work done. They sign all the contracts. Everything was, I was coming up there, and then like the day before, they were like, "You are our only alternate now," and I was like, "Oh man!" But they said, "Don't unpack your bags, because if something happens, you'll have 2 hours to get to the airport." And so I didn't unpack my bags for about a month, which was. And I got so excited. Yeah, and then, they were very kind to me about it and said, "We're going to try so hard. If you don't get on this season, we'll get you on next season." So I spent a whole year preparing, and not just preparing for the show, but preparing to audition, right? Like, I was ready. I really pushed myself that year to be my best. And then, just like Heather, I was like, screw it, I'm not going to make a really awesome edited video. I just filmed myself for like 20 minutes straight and sent it in and said, "You guys can edit it into whatever you think is funny." Yeah, and I remember when the show got renewed, Heather, because I think you and I were both in Europe. I was in Scotland.
Yeah. Well, we were both in Europe, and we were also both included in the show pitch, so...
That's
Yeah. And I was in Scotland, and they were like, "Send us more stuff." And I was like, "Oh, geez, I'm not in the country right now, but I can try."
I literally just forwarded them, like, my stuff from the year before and was like, "Dig through it."
Yeah, it was like, all this great footage I took all year. Have fun. Because, at that point, they had called me.
Jacob, I'm sorry, I tripped over my damn tongue. But I'm assuming the process was pretty much the same for you, Jacob.
Yeah, the process was the same for everybody.
No, I mean, I did my spiel first. I mean, I could go again. No,
Well,
I applied for season 2. I applied. I sent an email to one guy, and then he's like, "This looks great. Send me these questions." And I sent it to a different email, and then never heard back. So I think that I just got some wires going. I didn't really, but I made a video. I made a series of videos, and then nothing happened. So I figured that
Okay. I'm sorry, Jacob.
I mean, I did watch season 1 to make fun of it, and I joined the cast this season 3. So, lesson learned. If you want to be on a reality show, make fun of reality. You'll get exactly what you want.
Well, there is another question I wanted to ask before Raychelle had to leave. There is a question from Lisa. And they asked if you could go back to school and study or major in something else, what would it be?
I would be a high school teacher.
Aw.
I'd be a psychologist, I think. So.
Everybody knows my answer. I would major in computer science as well as neuroscience and French instead of just minoring, but we'll see. That's
Anyone else? Jacob, Amanda?
I would go to law school.
Jacob, I didn't hear you, and I didn't hear Amanda.
Jacob, you're really hard to
Go
hear.
first.
Amanda, go first.
No, I said Jacob go first.
He goes first in everything.
I majored in exactly what I wanted to major in, creative writing, and it's so fucking cool that we're going to comic book corner. Amanda, your turn.
I would go to law school, which I'm still planning on doing, but I would have done it sooner.
But see, Jacob, I kind of wish I majored in creative writing. I majored in history, and, well, I still don't have, I don't know if I'd have a job either way, but...
That's a teaching major. You go from student to teacher. That's like there's nothing outside of that.
Because now I'm an aspiring screenwriter, and I would have loved to have had...
Actually.
I would have loved to have had that more creative writing training.
Yeah.
My camera's out of focus, sorry, guys.
What I meant.
How about you, Todd?
What?
If you had a chance to major in go back to school and major in something else, what would it be?
Oh, that's a terrible question. I have no idea.
I didn't ask it.
Well, my major is in sports entertainment and event management. That's what my bachelor's is in. I couldn't even tell you what else I wanted to do. I originally wanted to be in culinary arts. That's why I went to Johnson & Wales, but after I was in a wheelchair for 11 months, I kind of lost all passion for cooking. So I switched, and I'm pretty happy with the decision, but I don't know. Maybe I want to go back for culinary if I wasn't crippled for a while, but that's neither here nor there. So I don't even know.
What kind of stuff do you like to cook?
Well, I love soups. I really enjoy my chicken and dumpling stew, my stuffed pepper stew, and I have these delicious 5-pound Todd nachos.
I've seen Snapchats of those.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
We're still talking about nachos, right?
Yes. Yeah, I send Snapchats of all my food to everyone to make them jealous.
And it works.
Yeah. So when we all get together, I get to cook for everybody. Because you don't get this large without being a good cook.
That is very true. Very, very true. Okay. One more question before we start digging into the episodes and what's gone on in Nerdvana. But Suncast, he's a recent follower and fan of the podcast, wants to know what is the guilty pleasure TV show or movie that you all have that you won't let any of the other nerds know that you watch? Everyone's talking at once.
I don't know what's happening.
me and Raychelle is Dancing with the Stars.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
See?
That's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, it is a little bit. But
All right. We want Shame. I own the seasons to Flavor of Love. There's some shame. Bring it on.
No, that is something to be ashamed of.
No shame. Hashtag don't give a bleep.
I loved the spin-off of that show. I Love New York. Did you watch
I
it?
love New York.
I love that show. I loved it so much.
She is batshit crazy.
So crazy.
And
So good.
love her so much.
her
Like she was
mom
hilarious.
is like her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually had I Love New York and watched it first before I even watched Flavor of Love. And then I went out and bought Flavor of Love because I was like, heck yeah. And my brother actually bought me some of the seasons.
Have you watched the season of Surreal Life with Flava Flav on it? Because
Yes.
okay.
I even watched Real Chance of Love and all the other crap.
Real Chance of Love. Forgot about that. Good show.
Do you guys remember For the Love of Ray J, that other one they had?
Yes.
Yes, for the
Yeah. Brandy's like brother or whatever, right? I don't know.
Yeah. The one who slept with Kim Kardashian and made her famous.
And me and Lily are just going, what are we even talking about?
Ray J, yes,
Yeah,
Jacob.
Todd
Yes.
and I are like, all right, that's cool, I guess.
Wow.
Evolved really quickly. Sorry.
Okay. So, we shall move on to a little bit of the first episode of this season, which, congratulations, had, 1.1 million viewers?
Yeah,
Season.
2 for TV plus 3.
That's even better. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Isn't the total 3 mil?
Huh?
PBR and everything, we hit 3 million.
Well, the
Was it?
TV plus 3 was 2.2.
Jacob, your audio's terrible.
Well, your audio's terrible.
It also looks like you're about to suck your dick. That's just a weird angle. I mean, no cursing. This is a public podcast.
Well, I like Jacob's angle because then you get the Spider-Man poster in the corner, and he's lounging, so it's just like super. I feel so relaxed looking at Jacob's.
That's not how I feel.
There's Charlie holding my foot right now. It is really difficult not screaming.
Oh, this is dusty. Oh, shit.
Ugh.
Yeah, Chuck Norris, thank you for pointing out that I can't get a word in. People are asking about my tattoo. Does anyone in the YouTube fucking universe know what this tattoo is a reference to? Does anyone in this Google Hangout know what this tattoo is a reference to?
Yes, we do.
Of course we do. We've talked about this since you got it.
A lot of
It's a
people
kite,
don't.
right?
A lot of people don't.
It's 'cause,
I say you tell all the viewers out there.
Yeah.
I'm all
It's a
Google.
great thing entitled The Treachery of Images. The text below the pipe says, "Ce n'est pas un pipe." This is not a pipe. It has to do with the signifier and the signified. It is explored in Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics, a very formative text for young Jacob Rubin. Look, there it is in the YouTube Hangout. Now we're catching up. See, there's a slight delay. Everyone knows what it is. I've been drinking. I'm a lot drunker than I thought I was. Go for it. Chuck Norris, shut up.
What is happening?
Someone in the
People
YouTube chat.
in the
is-
YouTube chat instead of listening to what's going on is what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Let's ask some questions.
I don't know.
Okay, but you don't run this hangout, Jacob. Jared does.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Do I need to send you off first from this hangout also?
burn. Look at his face. Look at his face. That's
Oh,
beauty.
that's diabolical. That's shitty.
I love you, Jacob. I was sad that you went home.
Jacob,
I really
Raymond, Soko?
But speaking of the first episode, in previous seasons, in this season they went through your guys' initial meeting of each other a lot quicker than previous seasons. So they didn't show a whole lot on camera. What can you say about your initial reactions to meeting each other?
Can I tell this story?
Go ahead, Heather.
Okay, awesome. So, they have us blindfolded, and I'm a dirty little fucking cheater. I mean, no curse words. So they have us blindfolded, but I see Raychelle's foot before we even get up there.
I did too, in the vans that we were in. Raychelle was sitting next to me, and I saw her tattoo.
So I saw it, and it's a Harry Potter tattoo is the point. So as soon as we get on the mat, I walk out, and I stand next to Raychelle super casually, and I was like, hey, what a nice tattoo. And so Raychelle and I became friends pretty fast because I was like, what house are you? And that's why if you watch the footage, Raychelle and I are like standing very close together the whole time, and she's like, when she says the line like, those look like recyclables, that's because we were talking the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then Amanda comes out, and she's wearing a shirt that says Albus Dumbledore supports gay marriage, and I was like, that's a really great shirt. And she said something, and I was like, what house are you? And she said Ravenclaw. I was like, well, we're Slytherin and Gryffindor. And she was like, well, I better watch out for you guys. And then she waits a second and turns around and goes, did we just become best friends?
No. And then when you said you were Slytherin, Heather, I was like, but you're wearing Gryffindor colors because you're in gold.
Oh yeah, and I had this.
Yeah.
And then
I was like, you look like a Gryffindor potty.
So it was just like minute one. We already knew our houses. We already established our Harry Potter fanaticism, and like just friendship established.
And then,
Awesome.
and then when we ran into the house after we were sorted, whenever we ran into the house after they put us on team, Amanda was a few steps in front of me, and I was wearing really big heels, and she stopped and like extended her hand to me and said, "We're the only girls on this team. We have to stick together." And we ran into the house for the first time holding hands.
Yeah. Sorry.
Huh?
What was that, Jacob?
No, I didn't say anything.
He did.
All right, I hate to tell you guys, but I have to go.
Oh, bye, Raychelle.
So thank you so much for having me.
I'll be the sad one too. We'll do it together.
But I'll finish watching later, and I love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.
Yeah, sorry guys, I have to go too. I'm really, really, really sorry. Hopefully we can do another one really soon.
Yes. Thank you for joining, Lily.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
I guess that means at this moment we can take a quick break for a word from our sponsor, girlfriendforthomas.com, and we have a couple spokespersons to advertise this website for us, or at least one.
If he returns.
Yeah, where did Lily have to leave too?
Yeah.
Yes. But we at least have one spokesperson for girlfriendforthomas.com.
Yeah, I wanna hear the.
He's
Well, actually,
talking about-
I don't know where Todd went. All I see is the Clockwork King.
I think we should wait for a return from our hero.
This
And our
dum dum dum.
villain.
Were you?
Oh wait.
Were you looking for a hero? Well, you didn't get one. It's so good to be back. And I'm here for a nefarious reason. You see, one of my friends, well, he was not really a friend because he was on House Hulu, the ones who destroyed my plans to win everything. He needs love. And we all just need a little love on the inside, don't we? So please, you need to go to girlfriendforthomas.com. I beg of you, or else I'll drop a steam bomb on your house. What's that? I have got to go, but you have not seen the last of me.
Well, thank you, Clockwork King, for plugging Girlfriend for Thomas, which is a very, very, very good cause.
What the hell just happened?
Okay. We did, in regards to the first episode, have a question from @Mr. Moonman. He wanted to know what the cast felt like, the emotional toll it took when Jacob was eliminated.
Oh.
I also want to talk first. Surprise to nobody. I obviously really liked Jacob, and I had planned to spend a lot of time with Jacob, and I was really sad whenever he left, which I think it's made really clear on the show, and also in the second episode. But yeah, basically it sucked a lot because he was definitely kind of like, he's always in a good mood, and he kind of kept the team like happy and going. So as a team, it sucked to lose him, especially because the next challenge involved writing. But then also just personally, he was one of the people that I liked in the house the most, and so to have him out super soon was maybe good because it got me focused, because I was like, I need to protect the people I like here, because if not, they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
That's my dog.
Jacob and I clicked super quickly, and before his nerd off, I had spent the most time studying with Ori because I didn't know anything about anime. So I was like, I'm not going to be any help to Jacob. I'm going to help Ori, and he understood that, and I told him why I was doing that. And so then before the nerd off, when they were kind of forcing us to just like sit while they were getting the set ready, Jacob and I just cuddled on the couch for probably like an hour because I knew that it was
before the nerd off.
What?
That was before the throne room. I remember that.
Oh, that was before the throne room? I thought it was before the nerd off.
There was at that point I wasn't really nervous at all because I mean, as I say in many interviews, I'm like, they're not gonna fucking send me in. Why would they fucking do that? That's exactly what happened. I'm swearing. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
Okay. Thanks, Jared. Yeah, I was completely blindsided. So no. When I would have remembered if we were cuddling and I was tense.
I just remember. Well, that's actually even more evident because if it was before the throne room, before I even knew you were eliminated, and you were the person that my team having lost and being in that stressful situation of not knowing who was going to go in, especially since Heather and I were both told that it was going to be us by the other. Jacob was obviously a very calming.
It wasn't me.
Effect had a very calming effect on our team, which was very appreciated and very missed after he was eliminated. Let me say.
I mean, there's that shot in episode 2 where I stroke the game over sign. Like, yeah, we all really miss Jacob. It sucks.
And we
also
quoted Jacob
to have the person that you sent come back, so that sucked too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was the dick that made that all happen. So I mean,
we still love you, Todd.
So many people are taking credit from that. So many people from Hulu have taken credit for setting me in. Ben said he did it on his podcast, but then in the episode said he did not. Said it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, Ben in episode 2 said
Raychelle now Todd's saying it. Like everybody's like, "Oh, it was my idea." Like I don't think
I wasn't saying it was my idea.
I think the real person to blame, the real people to blame, are me and Amanda because we weaseled our way out of a sticky situation. Honestly.
Yeah, because I went up to you and Amanda and I said, "Hey, I think we're gonna vote you guys in." I just wanted to be honest, and I walked away.
Yeah,
I mean, when you told us that, the girls had already told us, so.
That's why when dudes on the internet get so mad at me for creating a girls' alliance, they're like, "Well, why'd you have to do that? It's not like they were making a target out of you." And I was like, "Did you watch the episode?" Yes, they were.
I'm just kidding. I know anyone that's watching this or ends up watching this may lambaste me for that, but I think anyone that's saying that is afraid of an assertive or strong woman, and that's.
Thank you.
That's definitely what it is. There's a lot. I mean, on the internet more than anywhere, but like the sexism that's been rampant about this season in particular is like brutal. Like because it's like did you guys see this shit? I saw this article today. Some dickhead on Fox News was going around saying like Frozen is the Disney film Frozen doesn't have any positive male role models, and therefore it's a bad movie. Like, what is that? And that's a great thing about the show. When we were at Midwinter, and that woman came up to Heather and Raychelle and Lily and Nicole and Katie and Mary Kate. Like,
me.
It's so great to have girls, positive
Or you
female.
can tell them. That's cool too.
I agree, Jacob. Heather and I were talking about. Was it Heather you that I was talking to about that, or you, Amanda? How that's why I love the last few seasons of King of the Nerd. Well, the only seasons is because they're putting positive nerd female role models out there when there hasn't been in the past.
So Jacob didn't quite give this this woman credit. What she did is she came up to us and she pulled the three of us aside, and what she said is, as somebody with young children, young girls, it means so much to me that there are women who are real women, not characters, but real women being smart on television.
Yeah.
And she was like basically in tears, and she is the sweetest woman in the entire world. And she was like, so thank you so much for just existing as somebody that I want my daughters to watch. And
I actually behind the scenes moment, I was on set but off set, and actually was in the bathroom with Bobby's wife, co-host Bobby. His wife is super nice, super amazing, and she told me that that's one of her and Bobby's favorite parts of the show is that it puts smart people on reality television, real people, like Heather said, not characters, and shows them being smart. And not only that, but shows them being rewarded for being smart. And that is just something that I'm like super proud and like I hate to use this word, but like blessed and honored to be a part of. It's very cool.
And I feel the same way because like even like I have a little sister who just turned 15 last week, and we're from Warren, Pennsylvania, and there's nothing in Warren. I'm sure Heather knows exactly what it feels like being from her small town too.
Yeah.
And the fact that I can introduce her to Heather, the neuroscientist, Amanda, this amazing book blogger, Mujige from season 1, you know, Mary Kate, these strong, intelligent females that she can really look after and look up to and actually speak with and talk to and hopefully shape her future in a better light than what Warren would offer her.
That's so sweet, Todd. That is so sweet.
It's the truth. It really is the truth. And it's just I've been talking with Kayla and Mary Kate, and even working with the Squires of Nerdvana, which is the little subdivision of Knights of Nerdvana, is you have all these kids coming up and saying, hey, I love science, I love doing homework, I love getting into these things because I've watched you on, watch the females on King of the Nerds. And, it seems like it's a fun, entertaining, reality show, which it is. But, and I've told countless cast members this, it may be entertaining, but unlike other reality shows, these are real people and really awesome people, and you guys set precedent for accepting oneself as a nerd. That's King of Nerds is what was one of the first things that helped me accept that, because while I've been a nerd, I didn't grow up in a town that I was exposed to a lot of that, and it helped me as an adult accept myself as a nerd. Imagine what you could be doing for teenagers and young children.
Yeah,
Yes,
Heather kind of told me that similar thing because she grew up in a really small town, and that's kind of what guided her into the whole world of like internet culture and internet fandom for things, because otherwise she didn't really have a way to find people who were super interested in what she was interested in. But I'll let Heather tell her.
My hometown has less than 1,500 people. My graduating class, because I went to math and science, like a public math and science boarding school, but before that, the number of people in my class was 30. It took about a 45-minute drive through cow fields to go find the nearest spinach. Like, we had, like, a local store that had, like, cereal and Pop-Tarts and stuff. But, yeah, 45 minutes through, like, pastures to get to, like, spinach and, like, lots of other fresh produce that wasn't necessarily locally grown. So, yeah, I was pretty much raised by the internet.
How far your town was from things? How long it took you to get to spinach?
I really on Google Maps, yeah. Paying attention. Do you remember I gave you a whole tour of my hometown? There are like 8 houses.
No, you told me your hometown. You never mentioned spinach.
Yeah, spinach is, I told you, it's one of my favorite foods. So that's how, when it takes 45 minutes to get some fucking spinach, shit's
How far is it to broccoli, Heather?
Oh, fuck. Broccoli's always too close. It's too close.
Yeah, Heather's town's much smaller than mine. My town is 9,000 people, less than 9,000 people. We just got a Walmart 3 years ago. So, I'm sorry, 5 years ago. Yeah, Walmart. That's
okay, I guess my town isn't as small as your guys. It's a university town in Illinois, so.
Yeah, no, I was literally raised in a pasture.
Where are you? Where are you in Illinois?
My family's farmers, so, like, we own farmland.
That is awesome.
I mean, kinda.
Farms are awesome.
It's awesome once you move away and you can reflect back on it, but while you're there, you're the only person who probably likes what you like because you don't want to grow up and be a pig farmer, right? And that's uninteresting to you. So it's really lonely.
That's a good point. I can understand that. Okay. I was hoping to get to this before Lily left, but I wanted to talk quickly about cosplay. Not necessarily cosplay about the second episode, but Heather, you and I had a conversation where we talked about cosplay being more than just dressing up in a costume.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And it being... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I think that the thing that you and I were talking about. We were actually talking about you, Todd, and how proud I am of you and your efforts in this, because cosplay is for everybody, and it's one of those things that it's easy to look at it and be like, oh, you know, it's for pretty girls to get attention or whatever. But I was telling him about a conversation that you and Lily had on the show where you were like, I can't do cosplay because I'm a big dude and cosplay is for hot women. And she was like, look, cosplay is for everybody. And it makes me so sad that that didn't make that in there, because it's true. Like, cosplay is dressing up in a costume of a character that exists and having fun with it. And that's pretty much it. And that's something that you actually love to do.
Yes.
You are a cosplayer.
Yes. Having a lot of fun with it. It's obviously it's more challenging. I feel like it's more challenging to me as a plus-size individual, as a guy. But I understand. I can't compare myself to women because they have such a hard time in the geek community as it is, and they get generalized for everything. But, you know, I feel like I have to cosplay as plus-size characters, and I'm okay with that because a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. But, like, I was Blob, was my first cosplay, and it was great, and I let people take pictures with me. But some of the comic book legends I met were like, please put some pants on. And I was like, fuck you. What I want. Exactly. So, like, my plans for, like, Denver Comic-Con, as long as I get it in time, I'm going to be the Queen of Hearts.
Yes, you told me.
Spending cosplay.
Well, something to hear about was Todd was saying that he wants to cosplay Superman, but he feels uncomfortable doing so because it wouldn't be. He was like, I always make jokes about it to justify how I'm doing this, but Superman's really who I want to dress up as. And I was like, look, anybody who can't live in a world where Superman is like a hunky dude can fuck right off, right? Like, that's not somebody who I want to be friends with. Anybody who can't conceptualize Superman as being this sort of character can suck it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was...
All cosplays for all people. Let's be real.
Yes, I think, and I didn't mention this, but Todd, I think, and I'm having a similar situation where it's, well, the reason I want to cosplay, I told her the reason I want to cosplay as Superman is because I don't see Clark Kent as his disguise, but part of his full identity. Whereas when he goes from Clark Kent to Superman, it unveils his fullness as who he is, and it's him achieving who he, his full self. And that's kind of how I see Superman and how I feel about myself. But I think because even in the geek world, in the geek society, nerds have started to objectify women, and that turns into cosplay as dressing up hot, or even as a guy dressing up as the big muscular, kind of guy, and that kind of leaves guys like you and me out, Todd. And I think, unfortunately, it's time we bring back nerds bring back what costumes and cosplaying is supposed to be about.
Absolutely. Like, one of my biggest cosplays I've wanted to do, I never figured I could. I want to be a Spartan from 300.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. So, like, I want to spray paint on abs, and I want to have a...
I was just going to say that.
Exactly. And I want to do that so bad, and I know I'm going to get ridiculed for it, but I'm okay with it. Because I went on national television, and I put on a Lakers cheerleading outfit, and it's because I'm confident in myself, and you have to learn to be confident in yourself to put yourself out there like that. The other thing is, I have a strong support group with Heather and Amanda and Raychelle and Lily and all these people that I talk to them all the time. Like, these are some of my best friends in the entire world, and I tell them what I'm feeling, and they back me up 1,000%.
But speaking of, like, acceptance in the cosplay community and how cosplay has come to mean cute girls in costumes, one time at San Diego Comic-Con, we didn't have costumes for a day, so me and my friends dressed up in, like, random bullshit unitards with, like, different, like, staffs and stuff that we made the night before, and when people asked what we were from, we literally said the anime show, and people would be like, wow, I love that show, that's so great, like, blah, 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 because we're, like, cute girls in a costume that, maybe could be from something, maybe, and it was stupid, is the point. Like, it was so stupid how we could just spill out lies. I told them my name was Janelle from the anime show, and they were like, but you're not really the Janelle, right? Like, man. But yeah.
But Jacob, since you didn't get to make it to since you didn't get to participate in the cosplay episode, what are your favorite cosplays? How often do you cosplay, or do you even cosplay?
I have. I think I said this. I even said this in the first episode when we're sitting around and we're introducing ourselves. I say I am a light cosplayer in that I've done it, but it's not really like a key thing. I mean, as you saw in my ad in my promo video, I have a Alan Scott Green Lantern cosplay.
Ooh.
I have Luigi, one of the Monarch's henchmen, Henchman 24 from Venture Brothers. I mean, and often when I have a Halloween costume, I'll try to have it be something nerdy, and I'll just save it so I can, so if I ever needed to be Rod from Hot Rod, which is what I was for Halloween this year.
It was the best costume. Another thing that I live Snapchatted with cast members. Oh, that was such a great costume. I'm sorry. It was so good. So
I'm so stoked on how it turned out. If y'all haven't seen Hot Rod, you have to see Hot Rod. It's on Netflix, I think. Oh, Raychelle's back.
it is. It's so. Jacob, do you think everyone would appreciate if we just finished out this Google Hangout with you and I just swapping back and forth Hot Rod quotes? Because that's something we're pretty good at.
We can watch you guys jerk it some other day.
I'm jerking the goddamn day.
Raychelle, we were just talking about how cosplay is more than just dressing up in a costume. It's
playing the character.
It's a reflection of an inner self. But it's also for all people, and how Todd and I have had struggles with that because we're bigger guys, and just maybe get some of your input into that.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing for cosplay with me was just that, like, I literally got to be the characters that I've always loved. Like, I got to act like them and walk around, and people would be like, "You're Riku," and I'm like, "I am." Like, that was the biggest thing. Is it's amazing, and it stinks. Actually, I think it's unfortunate that Todd and you have struggled because I don't think it matters what you look like, or I think you can play any character you want to be. So, and Todd has done some really good ones. So.
The weird thing about being a nerd is that you usually either encounter people, and luckily everybody on our season was this first type of person who encountered a lot of teasing or even worse, different varying degrees of bullying when they were younger, and so then it turns them into a much more open and accepting and loving person. And then you have those people who encountered a lot of that when they were younger, and it just turned them into much more bitter, eye for an eye, well, I'm going to return this at everybody else type of person. And the interesting thing that I found about being a nerd and going to cons for a while is that usually everyone is like kind of one or the other, and most people are type 1, and that's awesome. Yeah. But there's just enough type 2s out there to like ruin it to almost ruin it for everyone else, and you shouldn't let it ruin it for you, is what I'm going to say.
Yes, because I love cons because it feels so accepting, because for like every negative person, there's 10 positive. So for me, I'm just like, ignore the negative people because they don't matter. Like, I love cosplaying, I love what I do, I love cons, I love nerds, like, we all get along, we're all a big family, and that's why I enjoy this group. So, I mean, if people are being negative, then just piss on them.
Yeah.
This isn't a cuss word, right?
I don't know if you guys...
No, you read the cuss lock all you want.
I don't know if you guys deal with this frustration, but my frustration is that nerds, over the years, and with internet and blogging and message boards, have gone from being the bullied to hiding behind the safety of a keyboard and become the bullies. And
you are absolutely correct.
Internet asshole.
Yeah. There's a key. Yeah.
Well, I think that cyberbullying is a problem. No bully, please. But there is something really cool about being able to be the asshole that you would never be in real life. So I'm not talking to like tell people to kill themselves or whatever, but like I've been on live, like I was on LiveJournal back in the day, and it was honestly like way more hazing was done than is ever done on like Tumblr or whatever now, right? So yeah, no, I think that there is there are parts of people that shouldn't be expressed in the real world, and if you want to express it on the internet, go ahead, be an asshole on the internet. At least you're not being an asshole in real life. But don't bully people, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not something I'm into. But if you want to, you know, sit and blog all day, your own hate speech into the void to yourself, right on, bro, don't care. Kind of how I feel.
It's a tricky line, because I think that the anonymity has definitely given people sort of this like, it's like a cool like, oh, what I'm saying doesn't matter because I'm not presenting myself, I'm not putting my face behind it, I'm hiding behind either a series of numbers or a fucking Guy Fawkes mask or whatever. We sort of have, with the addition of the anonymity, we've sort of removed an aspect of personal accountability for what you say and what you present about yourself or what you say and present to other people. And I think that we need to realize that, yes, we have this tool that can be utilized to express everything that we want to say to all these people without time, without cost, without anything, without, like, we can just, if I want to express my opinion about a current political situation, I have my Twitter and I can put my tweet behind it. Or maybe I'm someone with a shell Twitter account that says whatever I want to say without me having to actually put myself behind those words. And that's powerful, but it's also very dangerous because I'm creating a negative. We're creating negativity is what I'm worried about. So yes, the internet is wonderful for bringing this tool and this information to all of these people, but at the same time we have to assess that we have this personal accountability and this, like, no, we can't just do whatever we want, say whatever we want, just because we have the freedom to do.
Yeah, but there are extremists in every community, so I think that a little bit of what you're saying is redundant. So, because it comes with human interaction.
Conversation.
I mean, I feel like I've dealt with it. Luckily, I'm pretty stupid when it comes to the internet. I don't usually, I go to like 5 websites and that's it because I don't know how the internet works. Heather teaches me more every day, but you gotta channel your inner Taylor Swift and you just gotta shake it off because haters gonna hate.
That's why next up on 4chan is gonna be fun.
Can I say something real quick? I want to respond to something one of the YouTube commenters, Ramtheo, that Heather agreed with. Anonymous opinions should not hurt you. No one gets to decide what hurts the people except the people. Like, you don't get to decide what hurts my feelings. I decide what hurts my feelings. And if you just think, oh, I can say whatever I want and that's a problem, that's not true. And what you put into the world is your responsibility, and everyone needs to know that before they put it out there. I mean, yes, it's sort of a decision of what actually hits you, but you need to know. I'm just letting you know.
I agree, Jake.
I agree with that.
Can I just say I love Jacob's face when he's talking? I love Jacob.
I don't want to talk about Jacob's face. Issue 2 just came out.
Yeah.
Okay. How about, we don't have Lily anymore, but I wanted to talk about how the Little Alliance formed.
The women or the six?
The fake girl, the fake geek girls. Was it?
Oh, hashtag fake geek girls?
Yes.
Well, we all heard the love story of me, Heather, and Amanda.
Yes.
So that was already, like, when I watched them go to the other team, I literally wanted to cry. Like, I was just like, wait, what?
It's Raychelle's hand. I left that part out. But the thing about Lily is whenever I looked over the competitors, I was like, she's going to win. And so the entire first episode, when we were talking about, like, if we win, what are we going to do? I was like, Lily's going home. Na, 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 na. Like, and then we had the girls' meeting. And, you know, she kept her name out of the nerd off. And so then we win the second nerd war. And I'm like, hey, Amanda, Lily's going in. Na, 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 na. And she was like, Heather, you can't do that. She saves you. And I was like, I don't care. Like, I do not care. Like, she's going home. She's a big threat. Bye. And plus, I was like, her team won't protest. It was the cosplay challenge, and she lost it for them. Like, they won't be mad at us. And Amanda made me stay true to my agreements. And so I think that that's when it was really solidified for me, was when Amanda was like, Heather! And I was like, okay, fine.
Also, when we got off the van, only person I noticed was Amanda in her awesome Chuck Taylors and she was holding my hand, and it was so soft and supple. And I'm gonna stop talking now.
I remember the person I remember the most from the vans was Ben, because remember when we weren't allowed to talk to each other, we were blindfolded, and so they were playing Michael Jackson off of one of their cell phones. Remember, so it was really quiet. We were all standing there outside. We were all standing there outside, and Ben was dancing a little bit, like in place, and I could see like his feet moving from underneath my blindfold, and they were like, "Stop dancing!" And I was like, "I like Ben. Like whoever this dude is, I like him because he's dancing to Michael Jackson and getting in trouble."
When we were in the van, so there was like a back row, and then there were two in the front, and the other guy in one of the like middle seats, you know, so we weren't touching each other, kept fucking drumming on his legs to every song, and he was like hovering.
That was Ori.
Yeah.
It was
Ori. It was fucking Ori. And as soon as we took off our blindfolds, I looked at him in the eyes, and I knew that he was that guy who kept drumming on his legs for 2.5 hours. And I was like, you and me, buddy. You and me. Okay.
Amanda was in my van, I
Right
believe.
Tapping the whole time.
Because I think Amanda was in the back seat.
A couple times. They switched us around a couple times because I was sitting next to Colby at one point.
Yeah,
I was sitting next to you at one point. Jacob, you were in the front seat, weren't you?
Me?
No, Caitlin was in the front seat.
Oh, okay.
Because if you remember, I kept singing in the van. Like, they told me to stop singing.
Interesting to people, because we can talk about this in our own time.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sorry, guys. It's the season 3 circle jerk that happens whenever we all talk.
Also, Heather.
We're the most interesting people we know.
That pearl before swine joke made me laugh so hard just now, but you didn't.
To yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we can move on now.
Heather.
Yes.
You, and I know it's not out of evil intentions, but you are quite the game player, and very, very good at it. Is that a natural skill, or are you actually a comic book villain?
So I will say only this. I am definitely the most observant person on the cast. Hands down. I'm good at collecting social data and analyzing it. And I'm very competitive, and that's all I can really say.
Competitive, I couldn't tell.
What? Heather, competitive?
No.
Oh.
That's like saying Todd is fabulous. It's completely obvious. But that's why. But that's why I think you're awesome, Heather. You are an unabashed game player and so good at it. And it's like I auditioned for this season. I was like, I saw how well you guys, you Heather, and the rest of you played the game. I was like, holy shit! I'm glad I didn't get cast.
Yeah, there's a group of us who definitely came on with our game faces on, and I think that we recognized each other pretty quick, like the people who were who were in it from the jump, which makes for an interesting season.
Well, I mean, I was telling Jacob this before we started, and I've tweeted this out before. There's like, this is serious. This season is seriously real world, the Nerd Edition, and it's really interesting in that way.
Well, it was also strange filming it because we kept telling each other, like, it doesn't matter how much politicking goes on because it's going to be, you know, I don't know, 40% nerd war, 40% nerd off, and 20% like forced nerdy references, and they kind of had to change that standard layout of the show because we do a lot of scheming. So,
but yeah, it seems interesting.
Yeah.
But I did have got another question. I'm a totally random person, so this is probably going to seem really random. But I had a question from. He goes by Armando for real, but he was asking specifically Amanda and Heather, and then I'm going to include Jacob on this, but They are a writer, and they want to see if you guys have any advice for aspiring writers.
Oh, I mean, does he, as the operator of an independent book blog, I have a lot of advice on like self-publishing and even kind of publishing through the traditional companies. Is that kind of what he's looking for? Was that his general question?
If you want to go that direction, yeah, he just said advice for a writer. Jacob, you can. All you can.
I mean, were I a published writer, I would have lots of advice. I'm a comedy writer. I write for a sketch group, so my advice is find a sketch group. I don't know.
Amanda?
Advice for a writer. I would say to show your drafts to as many people as you can, because you can't be afraid of rejection, because the people who know you are going to be the most honest, but the people who don't know you are going to be the most mean. So show your drafts to as many people as you can, especially before sending them to professionals or publishers. And yeah, I mean, and then, you know, there's all those traditional pieces of advice as well. You know, cut out your adjectives and adverbs. Use, you know, 10-cent words to describe million-dollar ideas instead of vice versa. And
oh yeah, and don't use the word
all
actually.
those would be great stories. I'm sorry?
Don't use the word actually. I came to that realization like this week. Like the word actually is like useless.
I don't think the word
1990? Actually.
I'm trying to cut out the word just out of my writing. I use just way too often. Like, I just wanted, I was just thinking, and I'm trying to substitute that or take it out altogether, because all it really does is just soften your writing and your speaking and take out, like, the full effect of whatever,
That's true.
whatever you were looking to, whatever idea you were trying to convey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
All right,
I mean,
next topic.
Really, the stuff that I would recommend out writing is nothing original. It's just like write, keep writing. Don't be afraid to revise. Don't be afraid to cut the stuff that doesn't work and change what is good. And even if you're completely sold on a concept, don't be afraid of like, well, but I love this so much. No, well, if it's not working, it's not working. You know, edit and edit and edit and get people to look at it, and don't have someone look at it and then after they look at it and give you their honest opinions, say, oh, they don't know what they're talking about, because they're just as right as anyone else who would be looking at what you're writing. So take people's criticism seriously. Don't be too uppity about your own words. Just, you know, create and be true to yourself and love yourself and be happy, and don't be afraid to try drugs and get a job that you think will provide for you financially, even if it's not the job that you need, and go to the Grand Canyon.
I would.
And
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Jacob's advice of taking a job that you need and not necessarily the job you want is great, especially for somebody who wants to do something in the arts, because, I mean, I love writing and I love reading, but do I necessarily want to own a comic book shop or own a bookstore? No, because then I'm struggling and I don't actually get to do what I want to do because I'm too busy struggling to make money at something that I can't. So sometimes it is better to take a job that isn't your dream job and then hone in on your craft and then just do what you can in your spare time to get there. But, you know, everybody make your own life choices, but that's what I would always tell anyone.
I mean, don't take a job that's gonna fucking kill you. Like, I mean,
Sure.
Like, but like, I mean, Amanda's a paralegal right now, and I think that's great. I think that's like a perfect job for this situation. And I work at a comic book store, and Todd's a recruiter or something.
IT recruiter.
IT recruiter. Yeah, and that seems like a pretty swell gig. That, you know, it's a 9 to 5, but it pays the bills, and your evenings are yours. So if you want to go to comedy open mics and get drunk with other sad people, that's the perfect gig.
It's so true.
Yeah. Living the life, baby.
Jacob, you're awesome.
Yeah, this is what it is. Thank you,
Raychelle,
Todd.
what are you doing? You look like Cousin Nick over there.
Oh no, she looks like the girl from The Ring. Like, how long are we gonna let Raychelle do this? The fact that she is the girl from The Ring right now.
Lion Cat?
That's the only reason I have long hair. I mean, be real about it. Like, that's why. I love to hide in my curtain of hair.
Samara, that was her name, the girl from The Ring. Raychelle is Samara right now.
Okay.
In The Ring. I don't do horror movies, but
Neither do I.
We're gonna watch Cabin.
I may or may not know a little bit about horror movies.
Okay, topics. Any more questions?
Let's go to the YouTube thing. You guys have any?
Yeah, YouTube. Wait, I think Zach had one.
I already answered it in the chat.
Okay.
There was a chat?
Yeah, YouTube chat.
Right? I found it just a little while ago too.
I'm just on
I
Twitter.
guess I could look at that.
Yeah, if you go to the YouTube link.
But make sure to mute it, or there will be a horrible echo.
Yeah, no, that's all right. It's too late anyway. They missed it.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll keep good. The question that Zach asked was about how late we stayed up in Nerdvana, and I was like, it depends on how hard you were playing the game, but mostly it was like 4 a.m. wheels up at 8 or 9, so wake up at 7. So it was like, like 3 hours of sleep, pretty normal, because every second that you're asleep is a second that you're not playing. But I already said that.
Also, I did not sleep very well ever because it was always like 75 to 80 degrees, and Todd needs Arctic temperatures.
Amen, brother.
I'm like a
I
polar
was
bear.
raising my ass off, but
Okay.
You know what? Eat a cheeseburger, Jacob. Come on now.
I eat a cheeseburger every day, Todd.
Issue burgers are like the only food Jacob eats.
I have a horrible diet. I smell terrible.
The process of getting into the Secret Six involved bloodletting.
Sunday, I had a poblano burger with a fried egg on top, and sriracha ranch dressing in a spiked tiramisu milkshake.
Wait, did somebody answer if Curtis was as cute in real life? Because he totally is. Like, yeah.
He's way cuter. He's so adorable.
Oh my god, the cutest.
Curtis is.
Which guy?
I was hanging out with Curtis on Saturday.
Yeah.
But, okay, I think it might be winding down here.
I don't think we are.
I could go all night, but I want to be nice to you guys.
Yeah, Todd and I have a date.
4chan after this because I've never been on 4chan before.
Fun time. Anybody else can come if they really want to, but I assume it's
Look
just
at Jacob's face.
4chan's a bunch of douches.
I may go. That's just because I'm here and I'm bored. So.
Yeah, you should do it.
You can
Not my show on this subject.
But now I almost said season 3 instead of episode 3. Episode 3, I know you guys can't say a whole lot, but it's looking kind of ominous.
All right, all I'm going to say is this. The episode is called The Gods Are Angry, but judging by that preview, it should be called The Todds Are Angry. That's all I'm going to say.
I will also say they could include so much yelling. It might be the most yelling aside from Gravity. And yelling by most people.
Fact.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big drama.
Well, I can't wait.
I can wait.
But I guess I've just lost my train of thought. I get for the last question before we wrap up. Is there any final words that you can give to young nerds, or anything, or any advice, or anyone that is thinking about auditioning for the show but feels like they aren't nerdy enough?
Ooh. I struggled with the not being nerdy enough label quite a bit, just because I mean, there's 3 PhDs in our season, and a lot of people that were much more well-rounded than I was when it came to being nerdy. I was not to play video games growing up, so I know literally almost nothing about video games, and so I struggled with that label a lot. And what I would say is just own the things that you're great at and don't be afraid to own those things, and then also be open to learning more about the stuff that you don't know a lot about. And that's really the spirit of being a nerd anyways. And if anybody tries to challenge you on that, then I'm just taking Heather's little gesture here, and I say that's
Anyone else?
The best thing that you can always do is lead them to the gym.
I have one key bit of advice for anyone who
Just
seeks
make
to
sure to tell your husband I have this.
What?
Said Amanda, please make sure
One key advice I would give if you're applying, edit your video. Do not just set up a webcam and talk. Like, that's how they screen people out. If your video has cuts, then they will look at it. That's at least your first video, so do that. That's like, don't be afraid to put in fucking production quality. So,
And they
that's all I'm
say,
gonna say.
on the thing, it does say, send us, 4 minutes of unedited footage. Lies, don't listen. Do whatever the fuck you want. Send 12 minutes that you cut out from the middle of a 40-minute jerk-off session to yourself, and they'll love it because you're cute and you're nice and you're awesome, so go for it.
Oh, mine had
Yo,
6 cut scenes, and I had music playing where I took my shirt off, and it was amazing.
But I think on that note, I won't hold you guys any longer. This isn't Nerdvana, so I can't. You don't have to set up any pirate cast tents and.
Which, by the way, episode 2 should be out tomorrow.
Yes. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch Lily and Heather's Pillow Talk from their little pirate cast from Nerdvana. Their YouTube channel's X Alt, correct?
Yeah, well, it's X plus alt. Written X plus sign alt, pronounced exalt, like the word. Layers on layers there. Yes, X plus alt, but the word plus, because you can't use a plus sign on YouTube.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me and being on this. It's honestly, okay. So I've told many nerds before this, I am not the one to be thanked. You guys are the ones to be thanked because you are so welcoming to fans and so kind to fans and set such a great example for us fans that don't ever thank me. I feel like I'm the one that should be thanking you.
Well, we're gonna, so...
Oh, I'm gonna cry, and I don't have Lily to cry with me, so
Damn it, don't, let me put you guys on a pedestal.
No, yeah. Thank you.
Jared, when are you inviting us on again?
We wouldn't have it without you.
Yeah.
Todd, did you ask when I'm going to have you guys on again?
Yeah.
Whenever you want.
All right.
But I'm trying to build this podcast up, and you guys can come on anytime you want. Just let me know. And Raychelle, don't feel bad about letting out the stress hormones.
Through the tears.
Oh, I don't. My friends looked at me and they're just like, really? You're really going to cry? And I was like, did you see the commercial for next episode? So just saying.
Also, like, okay, straight up in the house, at the beginning of, or I guess midway through episode 2, you came balling into the Smash
barreling into my other team's room. Yeah, in tears, just being like, "Green team, girls."
Seriously, anytime, whenever I tweet out all those, when I'm not trying to suck up to you guys, I'm being sincere. I really think those things of all of you guys, of all the King of the Nerd seasons, because the show helped me accept myself. So, thank you for everything. Thank you for coming on, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. And bye to Lex Luthor also. And thank you all that are watching for watching. Make sure to follow all of these guys on Twitter, even though you probably already are. Follow Ren at Ren Nerdcast Pod to find out more about my show, and listen for more episodes. But bye, everyone.
Bye, Jared. Thank you.
Bye.